Oh, you're right, Ellison, right back there. They have a lot.
Will either be in here or else.
It also wants a snow day for my footage.
Thank you, Dawn. We're set.
Okay. Thank you. Hello all, and welcome to the Rails Board meeting. Today is Friday, March 22nd, 2024. I'm Alex Fancina, President of the Rails Board, and I call this meeting to order at 1:07 p.m. Emily, would you please call roll?
Sure. Monica Caldecott.
Here.
Rosie Camargo.
Here.
Jean Carroll. Alice Creason.
Here.
Gwen Gregory.
Here.
Diane Hollister.
Here.
Jenna Hovanek. Renee Leva.
Here.
Julie Milovec. Thomas Stagg.
Here.
Alex Fancina.
Here.
Vanessa Villarreal.
Here.
Karen Voidick.
Here.
Yolande Wilburn.
Here.
Catherine Yanikowski.
Here.
And we have a quorum.
Thank you, Emily. We'll handle guests and public comments at the same time, starting with guests here in Burr Ridge.
Monica Harris, Rails.
Joe Philippek, Rails.
Sharon Swanson, Rails.
Leanne Furby, IHLS. Laura Nemus, Rails.
Layla Heath, Rails. Pete Nevat, Rails.
Dan Boss from Rails.
Mark Hatch, Rails.
Hallelujah, Rails.
Thank you. Are there any public comments here in Burr Ridge? If not, East Peoria. Are there any guests in East Peoria?
There are no guests in East Peoria.
Thank you, Tom. So no public comments there either.
That is correct.
Very good. Emily, would you read the names of guests attending via Zoom?
Sure. Myself, Emily Feister, Rails. Sam Daly, Rails. Greg McCormick with the Illinois State Library. Wes Smith, Rails. Mary Kate Murray, Rails. Leanne Furby is with the IHLS. Anna Yackel is with IHLS. Gallon is also on Zoom, and Ann Slaughter with Rails.
Thank you. Are there any public comments from participants on Zoom? If not, have we received any by email?
We have not.
Thanks, Emily. We'll move on to the consent agenda. Does anyone wish to move any items from the consent agenda to the regular agenda for further discussion?
Yes, I move to approve the consent agenda, but would like to amend the agenda to move 9.1 iLead portal demonstration to after the financial report.
Thank you. Do we have a second?
Second, Karen.
Karen, thank you. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Oh, sorry. Emily, do we need a roll call for this?
Yes, we should.
Thank you.
Monica Caldecott.
Yes.
Rosie Camargo.
Yes.
Jean Carroll. Alice Creason.
Yes.
Gwen Gregory.
Yes.
Diane Hollister.
Yes.
Renee Leva.
Yes.
Thomas Stagg.
Yes.
Vanessa Villarreal.
Yes.
Karen Voidick.
Yes.
Yolande Wilburn.
Yes.
Catherine Yanikowski.
Yes.
And Alex Fancina.
Yes. All right. We have the Rails financial report. Karen?
Alex, and hello, everyone. It seems like we just did this last month, but here we are again. So the February 29th general fund cash and investment balance of approximately 25.9 million would fund approximately 22.7 months of budgeted fiscal year 2024 operations. So we have declined slightly since we received the biggest portion of our grant funds very early in the year, monthly expenditures. General fund revenues through February of a little over 14.4 million were approximately $406,000 above budget, which continues the pattern up until this point of the year. Of course, this is mostly budgeted investment income at 3.75% and consistent 5.4% for the past couple of months. Third meeting this week on Wednesday, they decided once steady. Now they're still projecting 0.75% cuts for the entire rest of the calendar year, with the first one in June, but they're still a little uncertain about when those will start due to inflation being a little bit high at the start of the calendar year. So they're being very, very conservative so they don't throw us into a recession right now. So their new target rate is 2.6%, which they plan to reach sometime in 2027, is what they're projecting right now. So decreases are going to be very, very gradual between now and then. General fund expenditures through February were a little over $10.5 million, and those were nearly $903,000 below budget, again continuing our trend that we've seen from the beginning of the year. And these were due to lower library materials expenditures from timing differences between the budgeted and actual group purchases expenditures for the group purchases, including BrainFuse, Communico, Creative Bug, as well as the extra $100,000 worth of content for the K through 12 and special language materials that was budgeted for the e-read program. This was also due to lower personnel expenditures. We had so many open positions this year. It's just the normal recruitment delay in filling those positions because those salaries were budgeted to cover the entire year. And this was also due to favorable to budget staff health insurance elections. We did have that 11% increase in our premiums that was budgeted and blended throughout the entire year. So that number for health insurance, but overall, because of those hiring and recruitment delays, we should be under budget for this category. These below budget expenditures were also due to lower contractual services expenditures, and these were timing differences from our delivery outsourcing contractor. We budgeted fuel surcharges from them at the $4.25 per gallon that we had budgeted for ourselves internally because of our projections at the time. Thankfully, fuel has fluctuated from between $3.60 and $2.74 per gallon for the entire year up until this point. So we're at a very good place and we're favorable to budget in that area. These contractual services expenditures were also due to not having yet awarded any of the My Library Is grants. We've received applications for those and we're currently evaluating and hope to issue those awards very, very soon. And we have $89,188. I could be more exact than that, but I won't, of cataloging membership grant funds left to spend. We have a second round of grants scheduled for later on in the year. So maybe we'll have someone that applies for those. Maybe we won't, yet to be seen. We also had lower vehicle expenditures. Of course, we have a normal delay in receiving and paying our monthly fuel card invoices. The gas prices that I mentioned have been very favorable to what we budgeted for. And of course, this is all partially offset by above budget vehicle repairs because our fleet is aging. Good news is we are going to receive, and Mark, is it 2 box trucks?
Yes.
If I'm remembering correctly.
Next week.
So we're receiving more and more. So as we.
How exciting.
Good.
Used to want life, now you got hot stuff.
I'm doing a happy dance here. So of course, as we get more and more of those vehicles replaced, that's going to go down and we can now eliminate our rental vehicles. If I'm thinking correct, Mark, that we've had to fill in that Bolingbrook specifically for. So costs will start to come down. And of course, all of these below budget expenditures were partially offset by above budget expenditures for equipment repairs and maintenance. And this is due to 3 unbudgeted items that just came up during the year. We had to upgrade our HVAC control and monitoring system unexpectedly. We also had to replace our HVAC control board for this facility. And in addition, and IT was working on this, we discovered an endpoint security software that decreases our cyber liability, our cyber vulnerability, I should say. And it was within the budgeted amount that we budgeted for, and it was a good move for us. And I'm not sure This is yet to be seen, may decrease our cyber liability insurance premiums moving forward, just because we have that extra security in place, but yet to be seen. So during February, I did want to go over some capital purchases we made too. We purchased most of the remaining recabling. We paid for most of the remaining recabling, racks, and the other half of the labor that we owed. So everything's completed here in Burridge for the recabling. And the entire project came in at approximately $7,500 below budget, which is great. As I mentioned, didn't mention before, but 4 additional delivery vans were delivered in February. We're just waiting for 1 more van. And with those 2 box trucks, just 3 additional box trucks. And this brings us to 7 vehicles received so far, plus additional 2, it'll be 9. And we hope to receive 2 of the remaining box trucks in April, before May-ish. And then the other one will be a little bit more delayed in summer. And that was pretty much all that I had. Does anyone have any questions at all?
Right. Thank you, Sharon.
Thank you.
So we will move on to item 9, our board development topic. And Leanne Furby and Anna Yackel will be presenting on the portal trustees.
Anna's gonna go ahead and unmute so she can give you a little bit of background information while I pull up to share our screen for us.
Okay, I want to thank you all for joining us today and letting us speak. I know we only have a very short time. My name is Anna Yackel. I'm a membership consultant at Illinois Heartland Library System. I have over 40 years of library experience, 36 of those in public libraries, and about 15 to 20 working with trustees. And my colleague is Dr. Leanne Furby, who has a PhD in curriculum development and design. She's a master of project management and is very techno savvy, and I consider her the patron saint of this operation. And I also see that Greg from the State Library is here, and a big shout out to the State Library for letting us funding us so we could create this statewide resource for all trustees. Something that was long overdue and much needed. So we hope we've hit the mark and made a very useful product. Okay, Leanne, I'm done.
So Anna and I put together this video. It gives you a quick walkthrough. It's about 10 minutes. It's going to take you from the beginning, tell you a little bit of iLead, and then show you what it looks like inside. We are going to let our avatar present for us because the avatar presents the content within the portal. So this is a great way to let you introduce that. And then I'll take any questions afterwards.
Might need some technical assistance, I think, so we can get it on a Zoom.
So.
Thank you. This has been the best part about doing this workshop. The audio works differently every place. My name.
Is Natalie, and I am one of the iLead trustee avatars. Today's in-person Welcome everyone. Thank you for joining us today. My name is Natalie, and I am one of the iLead trustee avatars. Today's in-person presenters are Anna Yackel and Leanne Furby. We are excited and delighted to share the iLead Trustee Learning Portal with all of you. Our visionary, Anna Yackel, is a degreed librarian with around 40 years of library experience, and at least 15 years of that has included attending board meetings and helping trustees, directors, and entire boards navigate the journey of library governance. Anna has a deep respect and appreciation for the time, effort, and dedication provided by trustees in support of their libraries and communities. Leanne Furby has a PhD in Learning Systems Design and Technology and is a master at project management. She came to this project as a longtime library user, but a novice to the many aspects of running a library and the work of public library boards. Allow me to introduce you to iLead. This learning portal was developed through a grant designed to assist Illinois public library trustees in understanding their role and the accompanying duties and responsibilities of the job. Anna wished to create an easily accessible, interactive online portal for trustee development to provide consistent information, instruction, and guidance. The mission is to give the public library trustees of Illinois the knowledge they need to be successful. The inspiration for the project has been all of the trustees who have asked for guidance, clarifications about their duties, and how to find the laws that must be followed in the governance of their libraries. It was determined that trustees need a resource that provides the knowledge to provide leadership and the facts to empower them to succeed. When Anna and Leanne first embarked on this grant project, they sent a survey to every trustee they could identify in the state, asking them which topics they thought were important in conducting their business. Anna and Leanne examined the survey results, consulted with their advisory committee, and determined which topics would be used as their starting point. Next, they reached out to current trustees across the state to help provide the portal's content. Finally, they took the provided content and created the 10 to 15-minute learning modules that now exist in the iLead Trustee course. This one-stop, in-depth, multi-layered resource eliminates barriers while expanding the improved capabilities of individuals and boards, resulting in better library governance across the state. iLead is delivered through the Canvas Learning Management System. To ensure the content is easily managed and updated, you will find several avatar-facilitated presentations, like the one you are watching now. Anna and Leanne have integrated the existing knowledge of trustees and resources with 21st century technology to bring trustees the best tools currently available in the state of Illinois. Why is all of this so important? Trustees, whether elected or appointed, are government officials. They have legal and fiduciary responsibilities. They set the tone for the library, and they should project a positive image of the library to the community. Informed trustees provide better library governance. Better governance leads to better libraries. Better libraries help improve their communities.
Better libraries, better governance, better communities. That sounds good to me. How about you? Are you ready to learn more? Let's take a look inside the iLead Trustee Learning Portal. The iLead development team is spreading the word that the Learning Portal is now open to all Illinois Public Library trustees. The Illinois Secretary of State and former Public Library trustee has recorded a video message posted in the portal to welcome you and recognize your imperative role in your library community. The iLead course has launched with the first 6 learning modules. Everything you need to know about the trustee role and expectations is included in Library Trustee 101. There is an ethics refresher with reminders for avoiding conflicts. There is so much more to attending a board meeting, and in the How to Conduct an OMA-compliant board meeting, our trustee contributors and legal advisor walk you through it step by step. The board operations and policymaking modules will provide a more in-depth review of the trustee's role and responsibilities. The review of the Illinois trustee requirements will remind trustees how to prepare for the new year. This is just the beginning. In the coming months, new modules will be added to address those areas in finance, planning, and engagement that trustees should know. Each learning module provides an overview of the information included and a to-do list. While the modules do not follow a particular order, we strongly recommend that you begin your journey viewing the About This Course module and continue viewing the topic pages within each module. You may also view and repeat the modules in any sequence if you seek information on a particular topic. Learning exercises and non-graded quizzes will enhance your learning, like the Library Trustee 101 Scrambler listed for this module. For each module that you complete, you will earn a user badge. When a module includes a video, a link is provided to a PDF of the video scripts on the topic page. To ensure the best learning experience, the video scripts are available in 12 languages: Arabic, Chinese, English, French, Gujarati, Hindi, Japanese, Korean, Polish, Russian, Spanish, and Urdu. The video narration and closed captioning are currently available in Chinese, English, French, Japanese, Korean, Polish, Russian, and Spanish. Topic pages will also include links to additional resources for trustees. Additionally, both the course and the iLead Trustee website have a list of references and resources to provide trustees with the knowledge and tools they need to succeed. One example of a learning tool for success is Anna's 10 Steps to Trustee Success. Be there, be invested in the library and your work as a trustee. Come prepared, read your board packet, be ready to discuss agenda items, and be ready to work. Obey the laws. As a trustee, you are an official and must be prepared to follow all local, state, and federal laws. Leave conflict behind. Do not let personal discord interfere with the board's work. Focus on the task at hand. Be respectful of the time of other board members and make meetings effective in moving library business forward. Stick to the facts. Avoid making accusations or derogatory remarks. Show respect for all. Show civility and courtesy to fellow board members, staff, and the public. Make respectful and inclusive decisions. The library belongs to everyone. Decisions and policies should reflect that. Avoid micromanagement. The board should focus on the big picture. The director handles the daily operations of the library. Display professionalism. Be your best self during board meetings and when representing the library. We have kept the navigation simple for those unfamiliar with an online course format. When you log in, the navigation menu lists home, announcements, and modules. Notifications of updates to the course will be provided under announcements. The modules link is where you will see the individual learning topics. We refer to about this course as the housekeeping module. In addition to the navigation and FAQs, you will find the Learn in Your Preferred Language page. This page provides directions to reset the course to a different language and links to the translated videos and scripts previously discussed. This module will be updated as the learning portal evolves. The Welcome module provides access to quarterly updates from the library world in Illinois. There is a link to the critical days and dates that are helpful for trustees to be aware of. If you are a new trustee, visit the Library Trustee 101 module. This module will include information about the trustee's roles and responsibilities and what you can expect as a new trustee. Ethical Principles is a great refresher for everyone. We have included information and guiding principles from several resources. This robust module is essential for every trustee. Most are not familiar with the details of the Open Meeting Act. No matter your library type, the OMA applies to you and your committees. The Board Operations module highlights those topic areas related to the management responsibilities of the trustee role. Policymaking covers bylaws, policies and procedures, and library governance. You will want to visit the Illinois Trustee Requirements page to learn more about trustee training and annual requirements. We are so pleased to have received continued funding for this vital learning resource. We work daily to add new information, update the resources and references, and work with our expert trustees to ensure the portal remains relevant. Before we take you through the iLead Trustee website, we have an essential message for our iLead team members.
The iLead team would like to recognize our contributing authors Catherine Lynn Caudill, Philip Lenzini, Becky Spratford, Thomas Stagg, and Christine Westerlund. We appreciate these individuals' time and effort in developing content for the iLead Learning Portal. The iLead team would also like to recognize our advisory committee members. These individuals meet quarterly to review the progress of the project, the content being presented, and plans for future development. We appreciate each member's willingness to be a part of iLead. Let's begin your iLead journey today. Our website, www.ileadtrustee.org, is the home of iLead, and is available to everyone interested in learning about the resources available. We encourage you to share this website with directors, library staff, current trustees, and those you are recruiting for a trustee position. Like the portal, we will update and expand the website to ensure the most recent information is available. To learn how to access the iLead portal, click Register on the blue navigation bar. We hope you create your account today. Thank you again for joining our session today. Thank you for inviting us. We are happy to answer any of your questions.
I just want to thank you guys again for letting us use the facility this morning to host one of our workshops. Anna and I are traveling all up and down the state between now and May to meet with trustees and directors to actually do the walkthrough, create the account, make sure we have people, users in their account, they care, get ready to navigate and work their way through it. And so what we're also offering for your individual libraries, if you would like us to zoom in like this, or friendly area drop in, we're doing demos also for the boards. Thank you.
Thank you, Leanne.
Thank you.
And Anna as well for your work on this. I think it's going to be a great resource for library trustees, something that Illinois has needed for a long time. It's appreciated.
Yeah.
All right. Any questions before we move on with the agenda?
Just a comment. Thank you. I think this is definitely very much needed. We have a number of new board members, and so they're a little unsure of what their role is. And so I believe in the past, there's been a more formal training where somebody came out and would meet with them. And so having this as a resource is great. And I do know that at least one of my board members has signed up. I signed up and I was so thrilled to get a badge. I'm working through it. So I'm really excited. So, you know, I may be reaching out to have you come and do something for our board to get them all in there. So this is really important. Thank you.
Thank you.
I love to recognize so many names on the steering committee. Thank you to all of my fellow board members, past and present, and other library leaders for contributing.
Special recognition for Tom Stagg, who contributed sections of the training as well, which is wonderful. Thank you, Tom.
It's great. And Joe is always at our advisory committee meetings to help us out. So
And Vanessa.
So we appreciate it. Part of those things. Enjoy the rest of your meeting.
Thank you. Safe travels.
Thank you.
All right. Next, we have reports. And I'll start us off. Just a quick update on the nominating committee. Tom Stagg will be chairing the committee this year and will be joined by Jennifer Kovnick from the board, Ashley Huffins, Executive Director of the Freeport Public Library, Karen Lonergan, Director of the Cordova District Library, Michelle Simmons, Outreach and Engagement Librarian from Western Illinois University. Nominations for the board opened on Tuesday, March 19th, and the deadline for nominations is Friday, April 19th at 5 p.m. 2 at-large seats and 3 public library trustee seats are open for this election. Any questions about the nominating process before we continue to committee?
It's probably dumb because I just can't remember. I'm up, right? Am I done? Am I up?
I'm up.
When do I do it? What do I gotta do now?
So if you would like to rerun, the nominating form is open. You are eligible to rerun.
I remember I was there because
First. We can talk offline too, Karen, more. First.
And if anyone is curious, on the Rails website, there is a list of all the current trustees, what seat they are representing, and the end dates for their terms. So next we have board committee reports. Those were included in your packet. Are there any questions or additions to those reports? Okay, in that case, next Monica has the Rails report.
Thank you, Alex, and thanks to all of you. A few things I just wanted to highlight from the Rails report that you received in your packet. packet. We did try to do a rundown of where some of the legislative updates are in the state, which included links to some of the House bills and Senate bills that the Illinois Library Association's Public Policy Committee is paying a lot of attention to. As they shared at the March meeting, they're not expecting a lot of movement on most of these until after the Easter holiday, but then there may be a lot of changes. They are also going to be doing a meeting where they really go through all of the bills that they're tracking in some detail and talk about things that they're looking for. Our Associate Executive Director, Joe Philippek, will be attending that meeting. And so we should have some more updates to share with you next month as well. Also just wanted to highlight that beginning next month's meeting, you will see a draft of the fiscal 25 system and area per capita grant operational plan. Our staff is hard at work at that right now, with most of the early drafts of that project coming from Dan Bostrom, who is working very hard on this process through the first year. We will be including a lot of the projects that we have coming up. We have already in earnest begun working on the budgeting process, which is also part of that grant. So expect to have some conversation about that at our April and May meetings. Also wanted to share just a little bit. We talked about this some last month, but we are continuing to hear from some of our school library members, especially on Public Act 103-100. School libraries are working on trying to find ways to be compliant with that act, and there's a lot of questions that are coming from those members. We are working with our other Illinois library support organizations through the partnership, including ISLE, the Illinois Library Association, and our sister system, Heartland, just to make sure that we are able to offer as many suggestions as possible for those groups, but we are hearing from them. If you are following some of the things that are happening with the RSA Independence Project, we did want to share there's a lot of documentation about that project as it moves forward. Kendall and his team have done a great job of creating a lot of documentation around that process and sharing how that's moving forward. So we did share a link to that in your packet, but if you're interested in learning more, I would encourage you to take a look at that as well. You've also received some communication recently from Emily and probably from Cook County about the Statement of Economic Interest process. This process does need to be completed by May. If you have not received one of these, please let us know as soon as possible so that we can follow up. And many of you saw that unfortunately we had to cancel the date for the April 30th Joint System Board meeting. This is due to unfortunately, our Heartland Library System, they were not able to get to the point of quorum, and we think it's really important that we have all of us be able to meet together. So we are targeting the fall for a meeting. We are looking at dates that should be going out to you very shortly if you haven't received those, already. And we are hoping to remain in Bloomington. So this one kind of silver lining to this process is our hope is that because we're having to move this back to the fall, that we may be able to go to our original location choice of the Bloomington Public Library and see their renovation if possible. So that is our sincere hope that we hope to be able to do that. I was going to ask all of you if you have connections or relationships to anyone who is on the Heartland board. I was just going to encourage you to reach out individually just to let them know that you're looking forward to this meeting and that we're really excited to have it together. I know that they're excited about it too, and I think that it would go a long way towards making sure that we move in that direction. So I wanted to share that. Yes.
Send us a list of the board members' names.
Yeah, we can send you a link. They're all listed on their webpage, and then you can see who maybe you know and would like to connect with. Absolutely. Yeah, there's a lot of really great folks on that board.
Yeah,
Great work. Okay, fantastic. Thank you, Karen. We can certainly do that. And then just in terms of a few additional things we wanted to call your attention to, of course, Dr. Leanne Furby was generously here along with Anna Yackel to tell you about the iLead program. We really want to get the word out to all of our members that this is available, and as well as these trainings that are coming up. So if folks are interested in that, please be sharing that with your networks as well. We have begun, and we're very close to finishing the transition to the Rails Rockford Delivery Hub, thanks to a lot of hard work from Mark and his team to get us moved over. I know we shared some information about that move last month, so that is happening in earnest, and we expect to be totally in our new location by the end of the month. Anything you'd add about that transition piece, Mark? Sorry to put you on the spot.
Well, it's going well. It's we did this in a very short period of time. You know, we've got a huge 47 item relocation checklist that we're working off of. And so far, everything is so good. You know, so it's going nice and smooth. So no concerns at this point. You know, we've got 2 weeks where we're going to have, and you know, we don't have to pay double rent. You know, but that's okay. We can work through that little small transition period. But it's going well.
Thank you, Mark. We appreciate that update too. And then finally, just wanted to call your attention to the 5 continuing education grants that were listed in your top 3 in the report. Being able to give grants directly to our member libraries is a really exciting and rewarding part of some of the work that we get to do here at Rails, because we can meet needs that are already there. So wanted to congratulate all of those members on their grants, and we're excited to see where that goes. Any questions about anything that appeared in the Rails report for today?
I'll just make a comment. The cataloging mentoring program that Nancy is doing, I am really proud of one of my colleagues. Usually school library aides and school aides are usually way overqualified for their jobs, as true of my colleagues. But one of my colleague who is our cataloger is part of this. She's the only school librarian participating, and I just am so thrilled at the growth that she has made and added to her knowledge. We really, with the help of a My Library Is grant, we really ramped up our world languages collection, and so she's cataloging books in Ukrainian and really learning so much, and glad to be part of this group.
Thank you for sharing that, Mom.
Yes,
I'm so glad to hear that.
And not to be, if it's gossipy, then tell me, forget it. But it says the March meeting with sort of the partners, it was a discussion about a situation at a public library, Metropolis Public Library.
You want to hear more about that?
Only if it's appropriate.
It is appropriate. I think it's important for people to be paying attention to the things that are happening in our state. And that is one in particular to pay attention to. I'm describing it in a short way because I think there's a lot to it. It's that library in particular had a director who moved programs in a direction of privatization. So having things like religion being a focus of the library as opposed to something that more generally supports all taxpayers. And so there was some community pushback around some of the changes that had happened at that library. And the board chose to remove the director at that time. But there's quite a lot of news coverage of that. It is not in our service area, it's outside of our service area, but it was something that there was some discussion around because it was unusual, I would say, for Illinois.
Right. Any other questions before we move on? Okay, next we have the Illinois State Library report. I believe Greg McCormick is with us.
I am, and good afternoon, everyone. Just a few things, and one, Monica, I wanted to add regarding your point about school boards and your work with them regarding Public Act 103-100. I would also like to add to that the Illinois Association of School Boards, the Assistant General Counsel, has already been in contact with our office, and they too will be helping to develop some resources for school boards, because they do this in other areas as well, that might be utilized by school boards to adopt procedures to make them compliant with that act. So that has not been completed yet on any level, but is something they will be working on in the next few months. They wanted to verify the due date of grant applications for school library funding from our office to make sure that they would meet that need. So that will be another resource that will be forthcoming.
Wonderful. Thank you for sharing.
Sure. We are, many of you, or some of you at least, have paid attention to announcements regarding open educational resource funding from this office. The secretary received $3 million in his FY24 budget for us to award grants through academic libraries for the creation and adoption of open educational resources, revising and updating anything that may already exist but could be applicable to an academic institution. I'm happy to say that we've received our first grant application. They're all due at the end of this month, but this will provide up to $150,000 over a 2-year period for the development of a resource or resources that will be available to any institution in the state and actually in the country if they so choose to utilize it. So this is new to our office, but we're working very closely with Carly because this will enhance the work they've already begun with the $2 million that they received from the U.S. Department of Education for their Illinois Scores program. So we will see where this goes with this grant cycle and what may become of this program in the future. We're finalizing our review of the FY24 public library per capita grants with anticipation of those announcements coming out in April. We're down to the final review of tax information, which we always have to do with a few libraries every year in the state, and final computation of equalization funding for libraries that are eligible. As you all know, the General Assembly is in the state library, has been a very, very busy place even today with use of our atrium and meeting rooms, with legislators, the constitutionals. That's something we're always happy that we're a part of that process, and we certainly have been this year as well. Along with the state budget, we are watching very closely developments on the federal level. This is something that I have spoken to Monica about. We've discussed this at ISLAC a bit, but we are anxious for that resolution to occur so that the funding that we receive from the Institution of Museum and Library Services is approved and available to us on July 1. That supports funding for the regional library systems and library services. So that is, or in part, it does, about $2.5 million of that allocation goes to Rails and Heartland for their operations specific to delivery. So that's very important to our office and something we've been following closely. Regarding the e-resources, the database packages, the RFP responses are due next week. We have now moved into focusing upon the process of how those RFPs shall be reviewed. We've spoken to each of the libraries, regional library systems at this point, but much of this now will be occurring with the Secretary of State's purchasing and procurement office staff. So more to come on that, but we have, even in a meeting yesterday, our intent is still focused upon that we will have something to announce and implement prior to summer. So we as well are anxious to see the operational plans and the library system budgets that were mentioned earlier in this meeting and getting that reviewed and the awards made back to the library systems for FY25. And again, very pleased to see some positive movement on the federal budget level today. So more to come on that issue as well. And I don't really have anything else unless there are questions for me.
Greg, any questions before we move on? Okay, thank you again. We'll move on to new business, starting with a proposed revision to the EDI committee chart, which Joe will introduce.
Thank you, Alex. Good afternoon, all. So in your packet, you'll find both a memo and both clean versions and a version showing the proposed changes to our EDI board committee charge. The charge was discussed both during the last September and December board committee meetings. And during the most recent committee meeting on March 12th, the committee voted unanimously to recommend these suggested changes for approval by the full board. One of the broad goals of these revisions, I think, is to bring the structure in line with some of our other committee charges. But it's also worth noting that this charge was originally developed before we had a plan in place. And as you know, the strategic plan incorporates EDI as one of our 4 primary strategic goals. So I think we just really wanted to make sure the language in the charge runs parallel to that strategic priority in our strategic plan. So you of course have this information in the packet, but just to highlight a few things. Committee membership, we do have some unique ex officio roles, I would say, on this committee. For example, we have representatives from BIPOC Library Workers Networking Group, IACRL's DEI committee, and the ILA Diversity Committee. So we just wanted to have some flexibility in terms of committee membership for those organizations that really overlap, and the kind of sharing that we do each committee meeting with those representatives doing a lot of the similar work we think is really important. So wanting that to be reflected in the charge. Adding language about terms and appointments, that was not in the original charge. So again, for consistency with our other committees and their charges. The original document had both a charge and a goal statement. The committee felt that there was a bit of redundancy there. So just wanting to streamline that into a single charge. And then I think trying to generalize that first statement within the charge and listing in bullet points the various aspects where the committee could focus. I think, again, this aligns with how the charge is written for some of our other board committees. And I think gives the committee some flexibility each year to really have a conversation around where the committee sees areas of priority. And I know even at our next meeting in June, the plan is to kind of talk about the year ahead and where in the space the committee would like to focus. So those are kind of the biggest, I think, changes that the committee's proposing. Of course, we have Diane, Rosie, and Vanessa all part of that committee as well. So with that, I just ask any questions or comments.
Who made the changes? Was it legal or HR source?
No, this would have been a combination, I would say, of input from staff.
Legal from the charges for committees. Yeah.
I know HR source sometimes offers, like, as a visual, is it EDI approved, I guess?
Okay.
But I'm like, if you are comfortable.
I will say that our EDI consultant also has us.
Okay.
Yeah, but that's a good point. I mean, that is part for sure.
So,
yeah.
Just make sure when you print the clean copy that the date at the very bottom when it's approved, it's clean, because it's still the old date.
Got it. So this, and if the board votes to approve, make sure to update to reflect.
Yeah, it showed that you took it out, but it.
Got it. Thank you for that.
On that note, would anyone like to make a motion to approve the revised committee charge?
So moved.
Thank you.
Second, Karen.
Karen, thank you. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Motion carries.
Thank you.
Thanks, Joe. Next, we have the executive director evaluation process. The information about the general procedure for this is included in your packet. Just a reminder of the procedures that are in place for this. Does anyone have any questions or comments about that? All right, you can expect to be hearing more about that in the near future. We'll move on to, that brings us to Rails board member reports. Does anyone have any news to share this month?
Yes, I'll share good news. So our high school, along with I would say most high schools in Illinois participate in a Reader's Choice Award. It's named in honor of Abraham Lincoln, so it's the Lincoln Award. Although I will say on the side that independently in my library, I got tired of too many years of kids saying, I don't want to read about Abraham Lincoln. So I dropped the Lincoln thing. I call it the Illinois Teen Choice Award because I don't have to explain that one. But anyway, it's the Lincoln Award. And so Vernon Hills High School was asked this year to be the high school that got to announce the winners. So I had a lot of fun on Monday with a group of rock star readers who made a very cool video announcing the top 3 vote getting books. And so what were they? The number 1 winner was called You'd Be Home Now by Kathleen Glasgow. It is a realistic book about the impact of drug addiction on a family. The main character is a sister who's dealing with her brother returning from a residential treatment center. And then there was a tie for second place. #MurderTrending by Gretchen McNeil is kind of a crazy sort of horror action about what if convicted murderers were put on Alcatraz Island, and then there was a reality TV show filmed about other people killing the murder. It's like it's a wild and crazy book. And then the tie for second place was a graphic novel called Who the F Are You by Huda Fahmy. The title being a joke about her name, and she is a Muslim American woman and artist. And I, independently of this vote, I had already booked her for a school visit at our school in October. So even more. I shared the link. Our video is like 2 minutes long. I shared it with Emily if anyone wants to watch it, or it's linked off of all the ISLE social media accounts and my social media account too. It was fun to do.
I also have, back in January, Lakeville Library got the very first library to get the Oslo grant. And we're so excited and happy because that gives us the money we wanted to start our outdoor space project. So it's really exciting. I didn't get a chance to tell you guys in person yet, so I'm very excited just to finally announce it. So we're very excited, can't wait. I'm looking forward to it. Can't wait to see what that's gonna look like soon.
Great news. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Plant milkweed, so you have butterflies.
Yeah, there's on the Lakeville website, there's a whole plan that we've been planning for that. And I'm just so excited because I lived there my whole life and I used to mess around in the woods back, like not mess around, like walk around the woods back there. So just to see it get like opened up and actually cleaned up from all of the invasive plant species is gonna be really exciting just to kind of see it turn into something so nice.
Yeah, something usable.
Yeah, it's gonna be beautiful. So excited.
All right. Let's see. There's nothing else to share, then our meeting recap and agenda building for our next board meeting. Oh, Tom, go ahead.
Oh, Alex, it's me. I just thought of something. Last Thursday and Friday, I was fortunate enough to attend the Illinois Reading Council. And I was asked several months ago to speak at an OLLI program at Bradley. And I'll be talking about, the title of it is, and the winner is, and it's the Youth Media Awards named by ALA and the Children's Choice Award from Illinois. So I got a lot of good titles to deal with, and I'm really enjoying myself. And thankfully for Rails, I've been able to get just about all my books, and there are a ton, probably about 60 that I've been trying to read and get through and be ready by April 11th. So it's just a joy to attend that meeting. It just gets my blood pumping.
Great, thanks, Diane. Okay. Our next board meeting will be April 26th, 2024 at 1 p.m. We'll have some updates on ongoing work from the policy committee, the quarterly consortium reports, draft of the system area and per capita grant application, an operational plan will be presented. Rails Service of the Month will be the Rails Discounts and Group Purchases Program, and the board development will be Rails Digital Marketing and Communications Initiatives. Is there anything else to add to the agenda for next month?
Then are we gonna get the evaluation information too?
Let me check the date for that.
Something about you get part of it in April, or are you doing your part in April?
Yes. And we haven't done an because of the shift in executive directors. It's been since 2021. So we will make sure that everybody has the timeline exactly as it needs to be as we go through, because it's new for a lot of folks.
So, yes, Monica will fill out a self-evaluation form and forward it to board by April 15th. So should have that before our next meeting. And let's see. Anything else to add to the agenda? Okay, we do have need of a closed session this afternoon. Let's take a short break while we get recording or live streaming stopped. And
should we make a motion first to move into closed session? You want to wait?
Yes, thank you. Do we have a motion and a second to move into closed session?
I moved. I am so moved.
We do need a roll call for this. Emily?
I had Diana's moving. Who was second?
Yes.
Karen.
Karen, thank you. Hey, Rosie Camargo.
Yes.
Jean Carroll. Alice Creason.
Yes.
Ron Gregory.
Yes.
Diane Hollister.
Yes.
Renee Leyva.
Yes.
Thomas Stagg.
Yes.
Vanessa Villarreal.
Yes.
Karen Voidick.
Yes.
Yolande Wilburn.
Yes.
Catherine Yanikowski.
Yes.
Monica Caldecott.
Yes.
And Alex Vancina.
Yes. All right. So let's take a short break and reconvene at 2:10.
We are now streaming.
Thanks, Emily. We are back in open session at 2:37 p.m. and we have no action follow-up from the closed session. Is there anything else before we adjourn for today? Hearing nothing, thank you all for your attendance. This meeting is adjourned at 2:38 p.m.